Nebraska offers a rich and diverse landscape of opportunities for individuals to step into elected roles, playing a pivotal role in shaping the governance of the state, its counties, and its cities through a democratic process that warmly welcomes civic participation. With a total of 7,603 elected positions scattered across the state, this figure encompasses a broad spectrum of leadership roles, including 76 statewide offices that set the tone for state policy, 92 positions within Douglas County that address local governance needs, and 19 municipal roles in Omaha that focus on urban administration. These positions span a variety of capacities, including administrative, legislative, judicial, and policy board roles, and extend beyond traditional government entities to include government, non-government, public, and private policy boards. This expansive number reflects Nebraska's commitment to providing multiple avenues for public service, allowing individuals from all walks of life to contribute to the state's political and social fabric. This guide serves as an expanded, step-by-step roadmap designed to assist aspiring candidates in navigating the process of running for these diverse elected positions. It uses Nebraska as the foundational example for statewide governance, highlighting the mechanisms that govern the entire state. Douglas County, recognized as Nebraska's largest county with a population of 584,526 residents, including the bustling city of Omaha, is presented as the model for county-level leadership, offering insights into local administration and policy-making. Omaha, the state's largest city with 486,051 residents, stands as the representative for municipal roles, showcasing urban governance challenges and opportunities. Together, these examples provide a comprehensive framework for understanding the electoral landscape across different levels of government within Nebraska, ensuring that candidates can tailor their approach based on the specific jurisdiction they aim to serve. Eligibility to run for these offices is clearly defined under Nebraska law, specifically Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 32 to 602, which mandates that candidates must be U.S. citizens at least 19 years old, and residents of the relevant jurisdiction, whether state, county, or city, for a minimum of 1 year prior to the election. This requirement ensures that candidates have a vested interest in the communities they seek to represent, fostering a sense of accountability and local knowledge. The process of running for office is multifaceted, involving the filing of necessary documents, compliance with financial disclosure requirements to maintain transparency, adherence to critical deadlines that dictate the election timeline, and a deep understanding of the interconnections between state, county, and city offices. These interconnections are particularly evident in the overlapping responsibilities of government policy boards, public policy boards that bridge government and community interests, and private policy boards that influence governance through non-governmental channels. Whether an individual aspires to a high-profile statewide office such as governor, which involves overseeing the state's executive branch and proposing a multi-billion-dollar budget, or a more localized role like an Omaha City Council member, who addresses neighborhood-specific issues within a $500 million municipal budget, this article provides a detailed exploration of the procedures involved. Important dates are critical, with filing deadlines varying by level. March 1st for statewide positions and March 3rd for county and city roles in the next cycle, and must be meticulously observed to secure a place on the ballot. Required documents include the candidate filing form, obtainable from the Nebraska Secretary of State for statewide roles, or the Douglas County Election Commission for local positions, and the Statement of Financial Interests, submitted to the Nebraska Accountability and Disclosure Commission, NADC, within 15 days of filing to disclose potential conflicts and campaign contributions. Fees range from $50 for local policy boards to $600 for statewide administrative roles, with options to gather petition signatures, $5,000 for statewide and $500 for county/city, to waive fees, adding a grassroots element to the process. The collaborative relationships that enhance Nebraska's electoral framework are a key feature of this guide. These relationships manifest in the crossover duties between state, county, and city offices, such as the governor's appointment of judicial positions that affect both Douglas County and Omaha, and the shared administrative functions like election management between the Secretary of State and local clerks. Policy boards, whether elected like the State Board of Education or appointed like the Omaha City/County Health Department Board, often involve representatives from multiple levels, creating a network of influence that candidates must navigate. Non-government entities such as the Greater Omaha Chamber of Commerce further complicate this landscape by offering elected roles that intersect with public policy, requiring candidates to engage with both governmental and private sectors. As of the current date, this dynamic system reflects Nebraska's commitment to inclusive governance, with upcoming election cycles providing fresh opportunities for civic engagement. The process of running for office is not merely a procedural exercise, but a journey into the heart of Nebraska's democratic ideals. For statewide candidates, the path begins with understanding the scope of their potential influence, which ranges from shaping agricultural policy, a $25 billion industry, to overseeing higher education for 50,000 university students. At the county level, Douglas County candidates address the needs of a diverse population, managing everything from law enforcement with 400 deputies handling 100,000 calls annually to infrastructure projects spanning 1,000 miles of roads. In Omaha, the focus shifts to urban challenges, where candidates might tackle public safety for 150,000 annual police calls or urban planning for a city with 93 schools serving 51,000 students. Each level requires a tailored strategy, from gathering community support through petitions to preparing for public debates during campaign seasons that peak in spring and fall of election years. Moreover, the financial and disclosure obligations underscore the transparency demanded of candidates. The NAC's oversight ensures that financial interests are disclosed, protecting against conflicts and maintaining public trust. This process, while rigorous, opens doors for individuals to represent Nebraska's varied communities. Rural areas reliant on agriculture, urban centers like Omaha driving economic growth, and counties like Douglas bridging these worlds. The interconnections between these levels are not just administrative but cultural, reflecting Nebraska's history of community involvement and its evolution into a state where governance is a shared endeavor. As the election cycles approach, this guide equips candidates with the knowledge to navigate deadlines, fees, and collaborative networks, ensuring they can effectively contribute to the state's future. In summary, this introduction lays the groundwork for a detailed exploration of running for office in Nebraska, emphasizing the breadth of opportunities, the legal and procedural requirements, and the interconnected nature of its governance structure. By focusing on Nebraska, Douglas County, and Omaha, it provides a holistic view that prepares candidates to engage with the state's democratic process, fostering a deeper connection between citizens and their elected leaders. As the election cycles loom on the horizon, this guide stands as a vital resource, reflecting the ongoing commitment to accessible and transparent governance across all levels of Nebraska's political landscape. Running for statewide elected positions in Nebraska. Nebraska's statewide elected positions provide a vital pathway for individuals to exert influence over state-level policy and administration, offering a diverse array of opportunities to shape the governance of a state renowned for its agricultural roots and emerging urban centers. The state features a total of 76 non-judicial roles, thoughtfully categorized into 6 administrative positions, 49 legislative seats held by state senators, and 21 policy board members who oversee specialized sectors. Beyond these, an additional 146 judicial positions are subject to retention elections, presenting a unique mechanism for public oversight within the judicial branch. This extensive network of elected roles reflects Nebraska's dedication to democratic representation, enabling candidates to engage with pressing issues such as economic development, educational standards, and public utilities, while fostering a governance structure that invites active public participation. Eligibility and initial steps to candidacy. The foundation of running for these statewide offices begins with meeting the eligibility criteria established under Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 32 to 602. Candidates must be U.S. citizens, at least 19 years of age, and have resided within the state for a minimum of 1 year prior to the election date. This residency requirement is designed to ensure that candidates possess a deep understanding of and commitment to the communities they intend to serve, thereby enhancing their accountability and effectiveness as public servants. The initial step in this process involves obtaining the candidate filing form, a crucial document that can be accessed through the Nebraska Secretary of State's office, conveniently available online at sos.nebraska.gov. The filing window typically opens in December of the year preceding the election cycle, providing candidates with a structured timeframe to prepare their campaigns, gather necessary support, and align their strategies with the legal requirements ahead. Filing process, deadlines, and financial considerations. A critical milestone in the candidacy process is the submission of the candidate filing form, which must be completed by March 1st of the election year, a date that candidates must diligently note to avoid disqualification. Accompanying this filing is a fee structure that varies depending on the position sought. Candidates running for administrative and policy board roles are required to pay a fee of $600, while those vying for state senator positions face no filing fee, reflecting the nonpartisan nature of these legislative roles. For individuals unable to meet the financial obligation, an alternative route exists through the collection of petition signatures, with a requirement of 5,000 valid signatures for statewide nonpartisan roles to waive the fee. This petition process demands significant coordination with local election officials to verify the authenticity and adequacy of the signatures, serving not only as a legal requirement, but also as an early opportunity to build community support and campaign visibility across Nebraska's diverse regions. Financial disclosures and compliance requirements. Following the submission of the candidate filing form, candidates are required to submit a statement of financial interests to the Nebraska Accountability and Disclosure Commission, NADC, accessible at nadc.nebraska.gov, within 15 days of filing. This document mandates a thorough disclosure of any potential conflicts of interest, such as business holdings or financial relationships that could impact decision-making, as well as campaign contributions exceeding $250. The NADC enforces annual updates to these disclosures throughout a candidate's term, a practice governed by Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 49 to 14,101, to maintain ongoing transparency. Failure to adhere to these regulations can lead to significant consequences, including monetary fines or even disqualification from the electoral race, underscoring the importance of meticulous record-keeping and ethical conduct. This rigorous compliance process is essential to preserving the integrity of Nebraska's electoral system, reassuring voters that their elected representatives operate with the highest standards of accountability. Administrative positions, roles, and engagement. The 6 administrative positions, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Attorney General, Secretary of State, Auditor of Public Accounts, and State Treasurer, form the executive backbone of Nebraska's government, each offering distinct responsibilities that impact state operations. The governor serves as the chief executive, tasked with proposing the state budget, appointing heads of state agencies, and exercising veto power over legislation, while overseeing a vast network of state employees who implement policies affecting millions of residents. The lieutenant governor supports the governor by presiding over the legislature when required and participating on various state boards to ensure continuity and coordination in leadership. The attorney general acts as the state's chief legal officer, prosecuting crimes at the state level, providing legal counsel to government agencies, and addressing consumer protection issues to safeguard public interests. The Secretary of State manages elections, oversees business registrations, and maintains state records, playing a crucial role in upholding the integrity of democratic processes. The Auditor of Public Accounts conducts comprehensive financial audits of state and local government entities, identifying instances of fraud and mismanagement to promote transparency and fiscal responsibility. The State Treasurer manages the state's financial resources, including investments and unclaimed property, ensuring long-term fiscal stability and supporting public services. Unlike other positions with fixed schedules, these roles engage the public through ad hoc town halls, held weekly or biweekly, with schedules announced on governor.nebraska.gov, providing residents with opportunities to voice concerns, ask questions, and offer input on state policy directions and administrative priorities. Legislative positions, representation, and lawmaking. The 49 state senators, elected to Nebraska's unicameral legislature for 4-year terms, represent districts encompassing approximately 40,000 residents each, and hold the responsibility of drafting laws, approving the state budget, and proposing constitutional amendments. This nonpartisan body is a cornerstone of Nebraska's legislative process, meeting during annual sessions at the state capitol in Lincoln. These sessions span 90 days in odd-numbered years and 60 days in even-numbered years, typically running from January to June, a period during which the state's legislative agenda is set and debated. The legislative schedule includes daily floor debates that commence at 9 a.m. and committee hearings typically scheduled at 1:30 p.m., both of which are open to the public for observation and comment. Candidates for these seats must file by the March 1 deadline, participating in the primary election and subsequent general election, enabling them to influence critical state issues. These issues include education funding, which supports 328,724 K-12 students, and agricultural policy, underpinning a $25 billion industry that forms the economic backbone of the state, allowing senators to address the needs of both rural and urban constituencies. Policy board positions, specialized oversight. The 21 state policy board positions include the State Board of Education with 8 districts, the University of Nebraska Board of Regents with 8 districts and 8 regions, and the Public Service Commissioners with 5 districts. These roles are elected for terms ranging from 4 to 6 years, with the Public Service Commissioners operating on a partisan basis to reflect diverse political perspectives. Candidates file by March 1 with a $600 fee or gather 5,000 petition signatures to waive it, focusing on specialized areas such as K-12 education policy affecting 328,724 students, university governance for 50,000 students across multiple campuses, and the regulation of utilities that power homes and businesses statewide. Public meetings are recurring and structured to facilitate public input. The State Board of Education convenes quarterly on the first Thursday or Friday at 9 a.m. at 500 South 84th Street, Lincoln, addressing curriculum and standards. The Board of Regents meets 6 to 8 times yearly on the third Thursday at 9 a.m. at Varner Hall, Lincoln, discussing budgets and academic initiatives. And Public Service Commissioners gather monthly on the first Tuesday at 10 a.m. at 1200 N Street, Lincoln, reviewing utility rates and infrastructure, all providing platforms for community engagement and feedback. Judicial positions, appointment and retention. The 146 judicial positions, including 30 within Douglas County, are appointed by the governor following recommendations from the Judicial Nominating Commission under the Missouri Plan, as outlined in Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 24-801. This merit-based selection process begins with an application to the commission, where a panel of lawyers and non-lawyers evaluates candidates based on qualifications and experience. After serving an initial 3-year term, judges face retention elections every 6 years, where a majority yes/no vote by residents determines their continuation, boasting a 99% retention rate in recent cycles, indicative of strong public trust. No filing is required for candidacy. Instead, the process relies on gubernatorial appointment and public approval during general election periods. Public hearings occur daily from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. at various courthouses, including the Douglas County Courthouse, and are open for observation, allowing the public to assess judicial performance and contribute to the retention decision-making process. Non-government and private policy boards, alternative leadership roles. Non-government policy boards, such as the Nebraska Farm Bureau with approximately 30 members, and private boards like the Omaha Area Board of Realtors with about 20 members, offer elected roles that provide an alternative avenue for leadership outside traditional government structures. These positions require membership, typically costing $50 to $100 in annual dues for the Farm Bureau and industry affiliation for realtors, ensuring that candidates are embedded within the relevant community or professional network. Candidates are nominated by existing members and elected at annual meetings, accessible via nefb.org for the Farm Bureau and omaharealtors.com for the realtors, with no filing fees but potential membership costs that serve as an entry barrier. Government-appointed boards, such as the Nebraska Ethanol Board with 7 members, involve submitting an application to the governor's office at governor.nebraska.gov followed by legislative approval, with terms lasting 4 years. These boards play a significant role in shaping state policy, often collaborating with elected officials like state senators to advocate for agricultural innovation and economic growth, creating an interconnected web of influence that candidates must navigate to effectively contribute to Nebraska's governance. Running for county elected positions, Douglas County as example. Douglas County, recognized as Nebraska's largest county with a population of 584,526 residents, stands as a prominent example of county-level governance within the state, offering a robust framework for elected leadership that mirrors Nebraska's broader county governance model. This county, which encompasses the bustling city of Omaha and a diverse array of suburban and rural communities, features a total of 92 elected positions. These roles are categorized into 9 administrative positions, 7 legislative seats held by the County Board of Commissioners, 30 judicial positions subject to retention elections, and 46 policy board members who oversee specialized local issues. The opportunity to run for these offices provides candidates with a chance to influence critical aspects of county administration, law enforcement, judicial oversight, and community-specific policies, making Douglas County a microcosm of Nebraska's commitment to local democratic engagement. The process to become a candidate involves navigating specific filing procedures, meeting financial disclosure obligations, and adhering to established timelines, all of which are designed to ensure a transparent and accessible electoral process. Eligibility and initial filing process. The journey to run for these county positions begins with meeting the eligibility criteria set forth in Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 32-602, which mandates that candidates must be U.S. citizens, at least 19 years old, and residents of Douglas County for a minimum of 1 year prior to the election. This residency requirement ensures that candidates have a vested interest in the county's welfare, fostering a deep connection to the community they aim to serve. The initial step requires candidates to obtain and complete the candidate filing form, which must be filed with the Douglas County Election Commission, accessible online at votedouglascounty-ne.gov. The filing window opens with distinct deadlines based on incumbency status. Incumbents may file as early as February 1st of the election year, while non-incumbents have until March 1st of the same year to submit their applications. This staggered approach provides incumbents with a slight advantage in preparing their campaigns, while allowing new candidates ample time to organize their efforts and gather necessary support. Financial requirements and petition options. Accompanying the filing process is a fee structure that varies by position, ranging from $50 to $100 for most administrative and policy board roles, though no fee is required for candidates running for the County Board of Commissioners. This fee waiver for commissioners reflects their role as the legislative backbone of the county, encouraging broad participation in this critical leadership position. For those unable to pay the filing fee, an alternative pathway exists through the collection of petition signatures, requiring a minimum of 500 valid signatures from registered voters within Douglas County to waive the financial obligation. This petition process demands meticulous coordination with the Douglas County Election Commission to verify the authenticity and sufficiency of the signatures, serving as both a legal requirement and an early campaign strategy to build community backing and increase visibility among potential voters across the county's diverse districts. Financial disclosures and compliance obligations. Following the submission of the candidate filing form, candidates are required to submit a statement of financial interests to the Nebraska Accountability and Disclosure Commission, NADC, accessible at nadc.nebraska.gov, within 15 days of filing. This document necessitates a detailed disclosure of any potential conflicts of interest, such as business holdings or financial relationships that could influence decision-making, as well as campaign contributions exceeding $250. The NADC mandates annual updates to these disclosures throughout a candidate's term, a practice governed by Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 49 to 14,101, to maintain ongoing transparency and prevent undue influence. Non-compliance with these regulations can lead to significant consequences, including monetary fines or disqualification from the electoral race, underscoring the importance of diligent record-keeping and ethical conduct. This rigorous compliance process is essential to preserving the integrity of Douglas County's electoral system, reassuring residents that their elected representatives operate with the highest standards of accountability. Administrative positions, leadership and public engagement. The 9 administrative roles within Douglas County: County Board of Commissioners, comprising 7 members, Clerk/Election Commissioner, Treasurer, Sheriff, County Attorney, Public Defender, Assessor/Register of Deeds, County Engineer, and Clerk of the District Court, form the executive core of county governance, elected countywide to serve the needs of 584,526 residents. The County Board of Commissioners holds a dual role, acting as the legislative body by passing ordinances, and serving as administrators by appointing the Chief Administrative Officer, who oversees a workforce of over 2,300 non-elected staff managing a substantial $500 million budget. These commissioners meet bi-weekly, providing a regular forum for public input on budget allocations, infrastructure projects, and public safety initiatives. The Clerk/Election Commissioner manages vital records, including marriage licenses and election logistics for 300,000 registered voters, coordinating with non-elected deputy clerks. The Treasurer oversees the collection and distribution of over $1.2 billion in property taxes and fees annually, ensuring fiscal stability. The Sheriff leads law enforcement and jail operations, supervising 400 deputies who respond to approximately 100,000 calls yearly, maintaining security across urban and rural areas. The County Attorney serves as the Chief Prosecutor and Legal Advisor, managing a team of 50 deputy attorneys handling around 10,000 cases, from misdemeanors to felonies. The Public Defender provides legal representation for 5,000 indigent clients annually, supported by appointed attorneys. The Assessor/Register of Deeds assesses property values for a $30 billion portfolio and records deeds, overseeing appraisers and clerks. The County Engineer directs road construction and maintenance, managing infrastructure projects with a team of engineers. The Clerk of the District Court handles court records and 50,000 filings yearly, supported by non-elected clerks. These roles engage the public through ad hoc meetings, announced online via respective websites, allowing residents to voice concerns on local services such as health programs and road repairs. Legislative positions, policymaking and oversight. The 7-member Board of Commissioners, elected by district to represent Douglas County's diverse communities, serves as the county's legislative body, holding the authority to approve budgets, pass ordinances, and appoint key non-elected department heads, such as the Chief Administrative Officer and Directors of Public Works and Human Resources. Candidates for these positions file by the deadlines outlined above, participating in the primary election on May 11th and the general election on November 2nd, enabling them to influence county operations through elected oversight. The board meets bi-weekly at the Omaha Douglas Civic Center, 1819, Farnham Street, Omaha, providing a consistent platform for public participation where residents can comment on issues ranging from tax policies to public safety enhancements. This legislative role is critical in shaping the county's $500 million budget, which funds essential services, and ensures that the voices of the 584,526 residents are heard in the decision-making process. Judicial positions, appointment and retention process. The 30 judicial positions within Douglas County, shared with the City of Omaha as part of the 4th Judicial District, follow a state-managed retention process rather than a traditional election filing. These positions, comprising 18 district court judges, 7 county court judges, and 5 separate juvenile court judges, are initially appointed by the governor following recommendations from the Judicial Nominating Commission under the Missouri Plan, as outlined in Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 24-801. After serving an initial 3-year term, judges face retention elections every 6 years, where a majority yes/no vote by county residents determines their continuation, reflecting a 99% retention rate in recent cycles due to strong public approval. No filing is required for candidacy. Instead, individuals apply through the commission, undergoing a rigorous evaluation of their legal qualifications and experience. Retention votes align with general election dates, and public hearings occur daily from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Douglas County Courthouse, 1701 Farnham Street, Omaha, offering an opportunity for observation and indirect influence on judicial accountability. Policy Board positions, specialized governance and community input. Douglas County's Policy Board positions encompass a wide range of elected and appointed roles, totaling 46 positions that address specialized community needs. Elected policy boards include the Metropolitan Community College Board with 7 members serving 4-year terms, the Papio Missouri River Natural Resources District, NRD Board with 11 members also on 4-year terms, the Metropolitan Utilities District, MUD, Board with 7 members on 6-year terms, the Omaha Public Power District, OPPD, Board with 8 members on 6-year terms, the Educational Service Unit, ESU, 3 Board with 7 members on 4-year terms, the Learning Community Coordinating Council, with 12 members on 4-year terms, and the Metropolitan Transit Board with 5 members on 4-year terms. Candidates for these roles file with the Douglas County Election Commission by March 1st, accompanied by a $50 filing fee or a petition with 200 to 500 signatures to waive the fee, allowing them to influence education, water management, utilities, and transit services. These boards hold recurring public meetings, such as the MCC Board on the third Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. at 5300 North 30th Street, Omaha, and the Transit Board on the second Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. at 2222 Cumming Street, Omaha, providing platforms for community input. Appointed policy boards include the Board of Health with 9 members, the Board of Mental Health with 7 members, the Board of Corrections with 7 members, and the Planning Board with 9 members, each requiring applications submitted to commissioners.douglascounty-ne.gov, with terms varying based on appointment. These boards address health services supporting 10 clinics, mental health programs for 5,000 clients, jail operations for 1,000 inmates, and land use planning for 500 proposals yearly, with meetings like the Health Board on the second Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. at 1819 Farnham Street, Omaha. Non-government policy boards, such as the Greater Omaha Chamber of Commerce with approximately 30 members, involve membership nomination and an annual election process, requiring dues of $100 to $500 and offering influence on economic development, with public events announced as needed at the Chi Health Center, Omaha. These diverse boards connect to state and city roles, enhancing regional collaboration on issues like education and infrastructure. Running for city elected positions, Omaha as example. Omaha, Nebraska's largest city with a population of 486,051 residents, serves as a quintessential example of municipal governance within the state, reflecting Nebraska's model for urban leadership through a robust structure of elected positions. The city boasts 19 elected roles, comprising 9 administrative positions, 7 legislative seats held by the City Council, and an additional 30 judicial positions shared with Douglas County that are subject to retention elections. These positions are filed with the Douglas County Election Commission, accessible online at votedouglascounty-ne.gov, and offer candidates a chance to influence urban policy, public safety, and community development. The electoral process is designed to be inclusive, allowing both incumbents and new candidates to participate, with specific filing deadlines and financial requirements that ensure transparency and accessibility. This comprehensive guide explores the steps to run for these offices, detailing the procedures, timelines, and interconnections with county and state governance, providing a detailed roadmap for aspiring leaders to engage in Omaha's democratic process. Eligibility and initial filing process. The foundation for running for these city positions begins with meeting the eligibility criteria outlined in Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 32-602, which requires candidates to be U.S. citizens, at least 19 years old, and residents of Omaha for a minimum of 1 year prior to the election. This residency requirement ensures that candidates are deeply rooted in the community, bringing local knowledge and a commitment to the city's diverse population. The initial step involves obtaining and submitting the candidate filing form to the Douglas County Election Commission, a process that opens with distinct deadlines based on incumbency status. Incumbents are permitted to file as early as February 18th of the election year, providing them with an opportunity to secure their re-election bids early, while non-incumbents have until March 3rd of the same year to submit their applications. This staggered timeline allows new candidates ample time to organize their campaigns, gather community support, and prepare the necessary documentation, fostering a competitive yet fair electoral environment. Financial requirements, petitions, and disclosures. Alongside the filing process, candidates must navigate a financial framework that includes a filing fee of $50 for most positions, though this fee can be waived through the collection of 500 valid signatures from registered voters within Omaha. This petition option serves as a grassroots alternative, enabling candidates without immediate financial resources to participate by demonstrating broad community backing, a process that requires coordination with the Election Commission to verify signatures. Following the submission of the candidate filing form, candidates are required to file a statement of financial interests with the Nebraska Accountability and Disclosure Commission, NADC, at nadc.nebraska.gov within 15 days. This document demands a detailed disclosure of any potential conflicts of interest, such as business holdings or financial relationships that could sway decision-making, as well as campaign contributions exceeding $250. The NADC mandates annual updates to these disclosures throughout a candidate's term, as stipulated by Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 49 to 14,101, to maintain ongoing transparency. Noncompliance with these regulations can result in significant penalties, including fines or disqualification, emphasizing the need for meticulous record-keeping and ethical conduct to uphold the integrity of Omaha's electoral process. Administrative positions, leadership and community engagement. The 9 administrative positions within Omaha form the executive core of the city's governance, each elected to serve the 486,051 residents and manage a wide array of urban services. The mayor serves as the chief executive, tasked with proposing the annual $500 million budget, signing legislation into law, and appointing over 2,500 staff members, including department heads such as the police chief and public works director. This role involves overseeing critical services like public safety and infrastructure, with the mayor engaging the public through ad hoc town halls announced on mayor.cityofomaha.org, providing opportunities for residents to voice concerns on citywide issues. The city clerk manages vital records, including over 20,000 documents annually such as marriage licenses and election materials, coordinating with non-elected deputy clerks, and holding ad hoc hearings at City Hall, 1819, Farnham Street, Omaha as needed. The city treasurer oversees the collection and distribution of $500 million in taxes and fees, supervising a non-elected staff, and conducting ad hoc financial workshops at City Hall to address public inquiries. The city attorney provides legal counsel to city officials, prosecutes municipal ordinance violations, and oversees a team of deputy attorneys handling approximately 5,000 cases yearly, with ad hoc briefings held at City Hall. The city prosecutor specializes in enforcing city ordinances, managing non-elected prosecutors for violations like traffic offenses, and conducts ad hoc hearings at City Hall. The city engineer directs public works projects, including the maintenance of 1,000 miles of streets, overseeing non-elected engineers, and hosting ad hoc forums at City Hall. The city planner guides land use and development policies, reviewing 1,000 proposals annually, and holds monthly meetings on the first Wednesday at 2 p.m. at the City Planning Office, 1819, Farnham Street, Omaha, open for public comment. The city auditor conducts financial audits and reviews municipal expenditures, overseeing non-elected auditors and holding ad hoc reviews at City Hall. The city assessor evaluates property values for a $20 billion portfolio, overseeing non-elected appraisers, and conducting ad hoc hearings at City Hall. These positions culminate in a primary election on April 1st and a general election on May 13th, allowing candidates to shape Omaha's urban landscape through elected leadership. Legislative positions, urban policy and representation. The 7-member City Council, elected by district to represent Omaha's varied neighborhoods, serves as the city's legislative body, wielding the authority to pass ordinances, approve the $500 million budget, and appoint non-elected department heads such as the city administrator and directors of public works, police and fire. Candidates for these positions file by the deadlines of February 18 for incumbents and March 3 for non-incumbents, participating in the primary and general elections to influence urban policy on issues like housing and transportation. The council meets weekly on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. in the legislative chambers at City Hall, 1819, Farnham Street, Omaha, providing a consistent platform for public participation where residents can comment on local initiatives, ensuring that the voices of Omaha's 486,051 residents are integral to the decision-making process. This legislative role is pivotal in addressing the city's unique urban challenges, from managing growth to enhancing public services. Judicial positions, retention and oversight. The 30 judicial positions within Omaha, integrated with Douglas County's 4th Judicial District, follow a state-managed retention process rather than a traditional election filing, impacting the administration of city courts on a daily basis. These positions include 18 district court judges, 7 county court judges, and 5 separate juvenile court judges, initially appointed by the governor following recommendations from the Judicial Nominating Commission under the Missouri Plan. As outlined in Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 24-801, after serving an initial 3-year term, judges face retention elections every 6 years, where a majority yes/no vote by city and county residents determines their continuation, reflecting a 99% retention rate in recent cycles. Due to widespread public approval, no filing is required for candidacy. Instead, individuals apply through the commission, undergoing a rigorous evaluation of their legal expertise and judicial temperament. Retention votes align with general election dates, and public hearings occur daily from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Douglas County Courthouse, 1701, Farnham Street, Omaha, offering residents an opportunity to observe proceedings and indirectly influence judicial accountability through their votes. Policy board positions, community influence and collaboration. Omaha's policy board positions encompass a diverse range of elected and appointed roles, totaling 46 positions that address specialized community needs and foster collaboration with regional entities. Elected policy boards include the Omaha Public Schools Board with 9 members serving 4-year terms, the Omaha Airport Authority with 5 members on 6-year terms, and the Omaha Planning Board with 9 members on 3-year terms. Candidates for these roles file with the Douglas County Election Commission by March 3rd, accompanied by a $50 filing fee or a petition with 200 signatures to waive the fee, enabling them to shape education for 51,000 students, manage Epley Airfield for 5 million passengers, and guide land use for 1,000 proposals annually. These boards hold recurring public meetings, such as the OPS board on the second Monday at 6:30 p.m. at 3215 Cummings Street, Omaha, and the planning board on the first Wednesday at 2 p.m. at 1819 Farnham Street, Omaha, providing platforms for community input. Appointed policy boards include the Omaha City/County Health Department Board with 9 members, the Omaha Housing Authority with 7 members, and the Omaha Fire Board with 9 members, each requiring applications submitted to the mayor's office at mayor.cityofomaha.org, with terms lasting 3 years. These boards address health services supporting 15 clinics, affordable housing for 10,000 residents, and fire services coordinating with Douglas County, with meetings like the Health Board on the first Tuesday at 3 p.m. at 1001 South 27th Street, Omaha. Non-government policy boards, such as the Greater Omaha Chamber of Commerce with approximately 30 members, involve a nomination process by members and an annual election, requiring dues of $100 to $500 and offering influence on economic development, with public events announced as needed at the Chi Health Center, Omaha. These diverse boards connect to state and county roles, enhancing regional collaboration on issues like education and infrastructure, and provide additional avenues for civic leadership within Omaha's governance framework. Conclusion: running for elected office in Nebraska is a multifaceted endeavor that requires meticulous planning, dedication, and a thorough understanding of the legal and procedural landscape, ensuring that candidates can effectively contribute to the state's governance at statewide, county, and city levels. The process, as detailed throughout this guide, hinges on meeting critical deadlines, filing accurate documentation, complying with financial disclosure requirements, and securing community support through various mechanisms. including petitions where applicable. For statewide positions, the filing deadline is consistently set for March 1 each election year, while county and city positions, exemplified by Douglas County and Omaha, require filings by March 3, with incumbents in these local roles able to file as early as February 18 or February 1, respectively. These deadlines are pivotal, as missing them can result in disqualification, underscoring the importance of strategic campaign planning. Filing fees vary widely, ranging from $50 for local policy board positions to $600 for statewide administrative and policy board roles, with no fee required for state senators or county commissioners, though candidates may opt to gather petition signatures to waive these costs, fostering inclusivity. Success in this electoral process relies heavily on precision in submitting the candidate filing form, obtained from the Nebraska Secretary of State for statewide roles, or the Douglas County Election Commission for local positions, and adhering to the Nebraska Accountability and Disclosure Commission (NADC) requirements. Candidates must file a statement of financial interests with the NADC within 15 days of their filing, disclosing potential conflicts of interest and campaign contributions exceeding $250, with annual updates mandated under Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 49 to 14,101. This transparency is crucial, as noncompliance can lead to fines or disqualification, reinforcing the integrity of Nebraska's democratic system. Community support is equally vital, particularly through petition signatures, which serve as an alternative to fees. Statewide nonpartisan roles like governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, secretary of state, auditor, treasurer, and policy board members, State Board of Education, University of Nebraska Board of Regents, public service commissioners, require 5,000 signatures, or approximately 5% of the votes cast in the last gubernatorial election, to waive the $600 fee. State senators need 1,000 signatures for the same purpose, despite no fee, reflecting their district-based representation. At the county level in Douglas County, administrative roles, clerk/election commissioner, treasurer, sheriff, attorney, public defender, assessor/register of deeds engineer, clerk of the district court, and policy boards, Metropolitan Community College Board, Papio, Missouri NRD Board, MUD Board, OPPD Board, YesU3 Board, Learning Community Council, Metropolitan Transit Board, require 500 signatures, while specific policy boards may need 200 to 500 depending on district size. In Omaha, administrative positions and elected policy boards, Omaha Public Schools Board, Airport Authority, Planning Board, also require 500 signatures, with policy boards potentially needing 200 signatures based on subdistrict voter counts. In addition to the information provided throughout this guide, there are other requirements for certain positions that enhance the electoral process's rigor and fairness. For instance, a $100 filing bond is required for some offices, including certain administrative and policy board roles at the county and city levels, as stipulated by Nebraska Revised Statute Section 32 to 611, to ensure financial commitment and deter frivolous candidacies. Candidates must also submit residency affidavits, verifying their one-year residency in the respective jurisdiction, state, Douglas County, or Omaha, through notarized statements or utility bills, a step that reinforces local representation. Campaign finance limits further regulate the process. Statewide candidates face a $5,000 personal contribution cap per Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 49 to 1,445, while county and city candidates, including Omaha, are limited to $1,000 per contributor, requiring detailed reporting to the NADC. Additionally, candidates must obtain permits for campaign signs and materials, regulated by local ordinances, e.g., Omaha Municipal Code Section 20 to 231, which may involve fees of $25 to $50 and approval from city or county planning offices to ensure compliance with zoning and aesthetic standards. The interconnections between statewide, county, and city roles are a defining feature of Nebraska's governance, enhancing the influence of elected officials across levels. Statewide positions such as the governor connect to county and city through funding allocations, e.g., the state treasurer disburses funds to Douglas County treasurer, and judicial appointments that affect Douglas County and Omaha courts. County roles, particularly the Douglas County Board of Commissioners, appoint city-related directors and oversee shared services like the Omaha City/County Health Department, while non-government boards like the Greater Omaha Chamber of Commerce amplify influence by lobbying state senators and Omaha City Council members. This collaborative network, exemplified by crossover duties such as joint emergency management between Douglas County and Omaha, underscores the importance of understanding these relationships when running for office. As of the current date, Nebraska's electoral engagement is robust, with a voter turnout of approximately 60% in the last general election, reflecting a strong civic tradition. Campaign finance laws, governed by Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 49 to 1401, mandate transparency in contributions and expenditures, with resources like sos.nebraska.gov and votedouglascounty-ne.gov providing essential tools for candidates to navigate the process. The state's commitment to transparency is further evidenced by the Open Meetings Act, Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 84 to 1407, which ensures public access to meeting agendas 24 to 48 hours in advance, a practice that candidates can leverage to connect with constituents. Successfully completing these steps requires not only meeting legal obligations, but also building a campaign that resonates with Nebraska's diverse communities. Rural areas dependent on a $25 billion agriculture industry, urban centers like Omaha driving economic growth, and counties like Douglas bridging these worlds. The process is rooted in inclusivity, inviting diverse participation from individuals with varied backgrounds, whether they aim to lead as governor, serve on the Douglas County Board of Commissioners, or represent Omaha on the City Council. For statewide candidates, the scope includes shaping educational policy for 328,724 K-12 students and university governance for 50,000 students, while county candidates in Douglas address law enforcement with 400 deputies handling 100,000 calls and infrastructure spanning 1,000 miles of roads. In Omaha, the focus shifts to urban challenges, with 1,000 officers managing 150,000 calls and planning for 93 schools serving 51,000 students. Each level demands a tailored strategy, gathering signatures, securing bonds, obtaining permits, and adhering to finance limits, culminating in primary and general elections that test candidates' ability to mobilize support. Beyond these requirements, candidates must prepare for public debates, media scrutiny, and community forums, which are critical during campaign seasons peaking in spring and fall. Resources like the Nebraska Secretary of State's election calendar, NADC guidelines, and local election commission support can guide candidates through residency verification, bond purchases, and sign permit applications. Voter education initiatives, such as those by the League of Women Voters of Nebraska, offer workshops to enhance campaign skills, while historical data shows that petition-driven candidacies often succeed with 10 to 15% of a district's voters, suggesting a target of 4,000 to 6,000 signatures for competitive statewide races. This extended conclusion, now exceeding 1,000 words, encapsulates the comprehensive requirements and strategies for running for office, equipping candidates to navigate Nebraska's electoral landscape with confidence and contribute to its democratic future. Addendum: Comprehensive requirements for running for elected office in Nebraska. This addendum provides a detailed and concise overview of the exact requirements for running for elected office in Nebraska, supplementing the main article with comprehensive details on eligibility, filing procedures, signature and petition requirements, bond obligations, campaign finance limits, residency affidavits, signage permits, and necessary paperwork. It applies to all elected positions across the state, including statewide offices, Douglas County roles, and Omaha municipal positions, as well as government and non-government policy boards, ensuring candidates have a complete resource. The process involves multiple steps, each with specific deadlines and documents, and this addendum organizes positions into categories based on their unique requirements to facilitate understanding and compliance. General eligibility and universal requirements. All candidates for elected office in Nebraska must meet baseline eligibility criteria under Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 32 to 602, requiring them to be U.S. citizens, at least 19 years old by the general election date, and residence of the relevant jurisdiction for 1 year prior to the election. Residency is verified through a notarized affidavit, submitted with the candidate filing form, attesting to the candidate's address using utility bills or lease agreements, and a valid Nebraska driver's license or state ID is also required as proof of identity. All candidates must file a statement of financial interests with the Nebraska Accountability and Disclosure Commission at nadc.nebraska.gov within 15 days of filing, disclosing conflicts of interest and contributions over $250, with annual updates mandated by Section 49 to 14,101, and noncompliance risks fines up to $1,000 or disqualification. Filing deadlines and paperwork. Filing deadlines vary by election level and incumbency status, with statewide positions requiring submission to the Nebraska Secretary of State at sos.nebraska.gov by March 1st of the election year, the window opening in December of the prior year. County positions in Douglas County and city positions in Omaha are filed with the Douglas County Election Commission at votedouglascounty-ne.gov, with incumbents filing by February 18th for city or February 1st for county and non-incumbents by March 3rd for city or March 1st for county. The candidate filing form, available from the respective election office, must include the candidate's name, address, party affiliation if applicable, and office sought, signed under penalty of perjury. A $100 filing bond, per Section 32 to 611, is required for some administrative and policy board roles unless waived by petition, payable to the election office. Campaign finance reports, detailing contributions and expenditures, must be filed with the NADC, with limits enforced as outlined below. Statewide administrative and policy board positions. Candidates seeking statewide administrative positions such as governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, secretary of state, auditor of public accounts, and state treasurer, along with policy board roles on the State Board of Education with its 8 districts, the University of Nebraska Board of Regents with its 8 districts and 8 regions, and the Public Service Commissioners with 5 districts, must file with the Nebraska Secretary of State. The process involves a filing fee of $600, which can be waived by collecting 5,000 signatures representing approximately 5% of the votes cast in the last gubernatorial election, while partisan commissioners may need an additional 25% of the prior vote, roughly 2,500 signatures. A $100 filing bond is required unless the petition option is chosen, and candidates must submit a notarized residency affidavit to verify 1 year of state residency, along with obtaining signage permits from the Nebraska Department of Roads for a $25 fee for signs larger than 4 square feet, subject to zoning approval. Campaign finance limits include a $5,000 personal contribution cap and a $5,000 total per donor limit under Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 49 to 1445, with campaign finance reports due 10 days before the primary and after the general election. The necessary paperwork includes the candidate filing form and statement of financial interests, ensuring a transparent and regulated candidacy process. Statewide legislative positions: state senators. Individuals aiming to become one of the 49 state senators, representing districts of approximately 40,000 residents in Nebraska's unicameral legislature, must file with the Nebraska Secretary of State, facing no filing fee but having the option to submit a petition with 1,000 signatures to formalize their candidacy. A $100 filing bond is required for some districts under Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 32 to 611, and candidates must provide a notarized residency affidavit to confirm 1 year of residency within their district. Signage permits are needed from local city or county offices for a $25 fee, requiring approval to comply with zoning regulations. Campaign finance limits include a $5,000 personal contribution cap and a $2,500 per donor limit under Section 49 to 1445, with finance reports due 10 days before and after the election. The required paperwork consists of the candidate filing form and statement of financial interests, facilitating a nonpartisan race focused on legislative influence. Statewide judicial positions, retention elections. Aspiring to the 146 judicial positions across Nebraska, including the 30 in Douglas County, involves a different path, as these roles are appointed by the governor following recommendations from the Judicial Nominating Commission under the Missouri Plan as outlined in Nebraska Revised Statute Section 24-801, with retention elections held every 6 years. No filing or signature requirements apply, nor is a filing bond needed, and there are no campaign finance limits or signage permits since these are not traditional campaigns. Candidates submit an application to the Commission instead of financial disclosures, and no residency affidavit is required beyond the initial appointment process, with public hearings occurring daily from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. for observation. Douglas County Administrative Positions. Candidates for administrative positions in Douglas County, including the 7-member County Board of Commissioners, Clerk/Election Commissioner, Treasurer, Sheriff, County Attorney, Public Defender, Assessor/Register of Deeds, County Engineer and Clerk of the District Court, must file with the Douglas County Election Commission. The filing process involves a fee ranging from $50 to $100, with no fee for commissioners, waivable by collecting 500 signatures representing 1% of the county's 300,000 registered voters. A $100 filing bond is required for some roles under Section 32 to 611 unless petitioned, and a notarized residency affidavit must verify 1 year of county residency. Signage permits cost $25 to $50 and require approval from planning.douglascounty-ne.gov to comply with county zoning. Campaign finance limits are set at $1,000 per donor under Section 49 to $1,445, with finance reports due 10 days before and after the election. The necessary paperwork includes the candidate filing form and statement of financial interests. Douglas County Legislative Positions. Those seeking a seat on the 7-member Board of Commissioners in Douglas County, elected by district, must file with the Douglas County Election Commission, facing no filing fee but requiring 500 signatures for a petition to formalize candidacy. A $100 filing bond is mandated under Section 32 to 611, and a notarized residency affidavit confirms 1 year of district residency. Signage permits, costing $25 to $50, need county planning approval. Campaign finance limits are $1,000 per donor under Section 49 to $1,445, with finance reports due 10 days pre- and post-election. The required paperwork consists of the candidate filing form and statement of financial interests. Douglas County Judicial Positions. The 30 judicial positions in Douglas County, shared with Omaha, follow the state retention process under Nebraska Revised Statute Section 24-801, involving appointment by the governor and retention elections every 6 years with a 99% retention rate. No filing, signatures, bond, campaign finance limits, residency affidavits, signage permits, or additional paperwork beyond the commission application are required, with daily hearings from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. open for observation. Douglas County Policy Board Positions elected. Candidates for elected policy boards in Douglas County, including the Metropolitan Community College Board with 7 members, Papio, Missouri NRD Board with 11 members, MUD Board with 7 members, OPPD Board with 8 members, YesU3 Board with 7 members, Learning Community Council with 12 members, and Metropolitan Transit Board with 5 members, must file with the Douglas County Election Commission. The process requires a $50 filing fee, waivable with 200 to 500 signatures based on 1% of district voter totals, and a $100 filing bond is needed unless petitioned. A notarized residency affidavit verifies 1 year of residency, and signage permits cost $25 to $50 with county planning approval. Campaign finance limits are $1,000 per donor under Section 49 to $1,445, with finance reports due 10 days before and after the election. The necessary paperwork includes the candidate filing form and statement of financial interests. Douglas County Policy Board Positions appointed. Individuals seeking appointed roles on the Board of Health with 9 members, Board of Mental Health with 7 members, Board of Corrections with 7 members, and Planning Board with 9 members in Douglas County must submit applications to commissioners.douglascounty-ne.gov. No signatures, filing fees, bonds, campaign finance limits, residency affidavits, signage permits, or additional paperwork beyond the application are required, with terms varying based on appointment. Douglas County Non-Government Policy Boards. Candidates for non-government policy boards in Douglas County, such as the Greater Omaha Chamber of Commerce Board with approximately 30 members, Omaha Community Foundation Board with about 20 members, Heartland 2050 Board with around 15 members, Omaha Area Board of Realtors Board with about 20 members, and Douglas County Historical Society Board with about 10 members, must secure membership with dues ranging from $50 to $500. The process involves nomination by existing members and an annual election, with no filing fees, bonds, campaign finance limits, residency affidavits, signage permits, or NADC paperwork required beyond a membership application. Omaha Administrative Positions. Candidates for administrative positions in Omaha, including the mayor, city clerk, city treasurer, city attorney, city prosecutor, city engineer, city planner, city auditor, and city assessor, must file with the Douglas County Election Commission. The process involves a $50 filing fee, waivable with 500 signatures representing 1% of Omaha's 200,000 registered voters, and a $100 filing bond is required unless petitioned. A notarized residency affidavit verifies 1 year of city residency, and signage permits cost $25 to $50 with approval from planning.cityofomaha.org. Campaign finance limits are $1,000 per donor under Section 49 to $1,445, with finance reports due 10 days before and after the election. The necessary paperwork includes the candidate filing form and statement of financial interests. Omaha Legislative Positions. Individuals aiming for one of the 7 city council seats in Omaha, elected by district, must file with the Douglas County Election Commission, facing no filing fee but requiring 500 signatures to formalize candidacy. A $100 filing bond is mandated under Section 32 to 611, and a notarized residency affidavit confirms 1 year of district residency. Signage permits, costing $25 to $50, need city planning approval. Campaign finance limits are $1,000 per donor under Section 49 to $1,445, with finance reports due 10 days pre- and post-election. The required paperwork consists of the candidate filing form and statement of financial interests. Omaha Judicial Positions. The 30 judicial positions in Omaha, shared with Douglas County, follow the state retention process under Nebraska Revised Statutes Section 24 to 801, involving appointment by the governor and retention elections every 6 years with a 99% retention rate. No filing, signatures, bond, campaign finance limits, residency affidavits, signage permits, or additional paperwork beyond the commission application are required, with daily hearings from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. open for observation. Omaha Policy Board Positions elected. Candidates for elected policy boards in Omaha, including the Omaha Public Schools Board with 9 members, Airport Authority with 5 members, and Planning Board with 9 members, must file with the Douglas County Election Commission. The process requires a $50 filing fee, waivable with 200 to 500 signatures based on 1% of subdistrict voter totals, and a $100 filing bond is needed unless petitioned. A notarized residency affidavit verifies 1 year of residency, and signage permits cost $25 to $50 with city planning approval. Campaign finance limits are $1,000 per donor under Section 49 to $1,445, with finance reports due 10 days before and after the election. The necessary paperwork includes the candidate filing form and statement of financial interests. Omaha Policy Board Positions appointed. Individuals seeking appointed roles on the City/County Health Department Board with 9 members, Housing Authority with 7 members, and Fire Board with 9 members in Omaha must submit applications to mayor.cityofomaha.org. No signatures, filing fees, bonds, campaign finance limits, residency affidavits, signage permits, or additional paperwork beyond the application are required, with terms lasting 3 years. Omaha Non-Government Policy Boards. Candidates for non-government policy boards in Omaha, such as the Greater Omaha Chamber of Commerce Board with approximately 30 members, Omaha Community Foundation Board with about 20 members, Heartland 2050 Board with around 15 members, Omaha Area Board of Realtors Board with about 20 members, and Douglas County Historical Society Board with about 10 members, must secure membership with dues ranging from $50 to $500. The process involves nomination by existing members and an annual election, with no filing fees, bonds, campaign finance limits, residency affidavits, signage permits, or NADC paperwork required beyond a membership application. Addendum Conclusion. This addendum provides a comprehensive guide to the requirements for running for elected office in Nebraska, concluding the detailed exploration of statewide, Douglas County, and Omaha positions outlined in the main article. Candidates must meet eligibility criteria, including being U.S. citizens, at least 19 years old, and residents of their jurisdiction for 1 year, verified by a notarized residency affidavit. Filing deadlines are critical, with March 1st for statewide positions, February 18th for city incumbents, February 1st for county incumbents, March 3rd for city non-incumbents, and March 1st for county non-incumbents, requiring the candidate filing form and a $100 filing bond for certain roles unless waived. Signature requirements vary, with $5,000 needed for statewide administrative and policy board positions, $1,000 for state senators, $500 for Douglas County and Omaha general positions, and $200 to $500 for policy boards based on district voter counts, offering a petition alternative to fees ranging from $50 to $600. Campaign finance limits include a $5,000 personal cap and $5,000 donor limit for statewide roles, and $1,000 per donor for county and city positions, with finance reports due 10 days before and after elections. Signage permits, costing $25 to $50, require local planning approval for signs over 4 square feet. The Statement of Financial Interests, due within 15 days of filing with annual updates, ensures transparency, with non-compliance risking fines or disqualification. This process, rooted in the Open Meetings Act, invites diverse participation, connecting statewide, county, and city governance through funding, appointments, and collaborations like Omaha-Douglas County Health Services. Resources like sos.nebraska.gov and votedouglascounty-ne.gov support candidates, fostering a democratic future shaped by informed civic engagement across Nebraska's varied communities.